Last night started with a bang for the D-backs when Steve Finley clubbed a grand slam. But the Expos wouldn't back down, clawing back to tie the game against Randy Johnson. What started big ended bigger on this Jay Bell home run. Game 2 next. A beautiful night for baseball at Bank One Ballpark. Game 2 of this series between the Montreal Expos and the Arizona Diamondbacks. And a pleasant good evening to you. Alongside Bob Brenly, I'm Thom Brennaman. Welcome as always to D-backs Baseball on Fox. Bobby Armando Reynoso making his first start in 8 days. Should be interesting to see how he throws the ball tonight.
Yeah, I don't think it'll affect Armando as much as it would a pitcher who's been in the rotation regularly since the beginning of the season. Armando's been bumped a couple of times. I think he'll handle it fine.
All right, he's facing a team that had 13 hits against Randy Johnson last night, scoring 6 runs. But the Diamondbacks' key right now, Jay Bell. Whatever's going on, whatever they got to do to get him ready to play, keep on doing it, brother. He leads the major leagues with 12 bombs. Fox Sports Net Arizona presents Diamondbacks Baseball, brought to you by the Edge Pizza New from Pizza Hut. Have you been to the Edge? By your Arizona Ford dealers. By Miller Lite, the great taste of a true Pilsner beer. By Gatorade, is it in you? And by Access One remote keyless entry by Titan. Get a lock on the future. We're at Bank One Ballpark, where the Diamondbacks have dominated the opposition this season in 14 games, winning 11 times. And they're trying to get their 3rd straight win overall, their 2nd in a row in this series. In our Pizza Hut delivery on Diamondbacks right-hander Armando Reynoso.
See his numbers in 7 appearances this season, including 4 starts. His record against the Expos in his career. And with his pickoff move to first base and his varying deliveries to home plate, he should be able to slow down the Expos' running game.
Reynoso ready to go to work on Wilton Guerrero, and he deals high, ball 1, and we're underway. We mentioned, due to the off day last Thursday, Reynoso has had 8 days to rest since his last outing. A no decision in Milwaukee on May 2nd. 2-0. That was a game eventually won by the Brewers in that wild one on a Sunday afternoon, 6-5. Reynoso, through the first 6 innings, allowed only 1 run on 5 hits. He did walk 4. Was lifted for a pinch hitter, had a shot at a win with a 3-1 lead as it goes to 2-1 on Guerrero. But the Diamondbacks in that game blew a 3-1 lead, then blew a 5-3 lead when Marquise Grissom hit the 3-run home run in the 8th inning against Greg Olson. 2-1 to Guerrero, inside and low. Of course, the Diamondbacks in that ball game had the bases loaded and nobody out in the top of the 9th against Bob Wickman, and failed to score. Guerrero 2 hits last night, and now the count is full. .238 batter with 7 runs batted in.
Tom, you mentioned the Diamondbacks' 11-3 record here at Bank One. That's the 2nd best home record in all of baseball. Only the Yankees at 12-2 have a better home record than the Diamondbacks.
Slapped into right field. It falls for a base hit in front of Tony Womack. So we'll get an up-close and personal look at this Montreal running game. A checker starting lineup under Felipe Alou. Guerrero followed by Michael Barrett at 3rd. Rondell White in center. Orlando Merced in left. Vladimir Guerrero in right. Brad Fulmer, the first baseman. Chris Widger, Orlando Cabrera, and Mike Thurman. Felipe Alou, the all-time winningest manager in Expos history. In fact, he accomplished that feat right here in this ballpark last August 19th when he got win number 521. He is in his 7th full season as Montreal's manager, the 5th longest tenure with the same club in the majors. Strike 1 to Michael Barrett. The only managers to stay with their teams longer than Alou: Tom Kelly with Minnesota, his 13th year. Bobby Cox with the Braves, his 9th. Mike Hargrove in Cleveland has been there 8 years. And Milwaukee's Phil Garner, 8 years. Reynoso, as you probably know by now, extremely slow and deliberate on the mound. He has 41 pickoffs in his major league career. Bobby told you he has an outstanding move over to first.
He really takes the air out of the offense and sometimes out of his own defense, working very deliberately. Work a lot of deep counts. Not unusual to see the full count as we saw on Guerrero to start this game.
Juggled by Williams, throws, and they get the out on Guerrero at second. He had to wait to see whether or not Williams was going to catch that ball. So they get the lead runner one away.
Matt knocks the ball down at third base, loses it briefly, but watch Jay Bell make like a first baseman. Once you realize you don't have a chance for the double play, go ahead and stretch out just like a first baseman would. Give yourself every opportunity to get that lead runner.
Rondell White. Look at those numbers. 336 on the year, 4 home runs, 12 batted in. And he's having to play with an ailing knee right now. He's drained it a couple of times. They had a recent MRI, no structural damage in there, but very painful right now for White. But he's hitting his way right through it.
And probably loves being on the natural grass here at Bank One Ballpark. That turf up in Montreal at Olympic Stadium, sorely in need of repair or removal. Very tough to run on. Would just aggravate that injured knee.
1-0 pitch, and it's hammered into right center field. A base hit. Finley over to try and cut it off. Slides to get it, and they're going to hold Barrett at third. Fine play made by Finley. A double by White, but Finley sliding and cutting the ball off prevents Barrett temporarily, anyhow, from scoring all the way from first base.
Oh, this is a beautiful play by Steve Finley, almost like a pop-up slide into second base. Catches the ball as he slides past it. Gets the ball back into the infield quickly. This is the lead runner, Barrett. And he has to hold at third base. That was a nice play to get that ball in quickly.
Buck was talking about just that before the game today. He said to get a ball through into right center field against Finley and Womack, you have to drive it almost to the wall on one hop, because these guys are cutting off everything in sight. Here's Orlando Merced, and it's high and away for ball one. Merced in limited playing time. He was a non-roster invitee and made the Montreal Ball Club in spring training. Swinging a hot bat right now. This guy's always been a good hitter. (2-0).
Had some big years with the Pirates. Very much a contact hitter from foul line to foul line. He has really enjoyed facing Armando Reynoso in his career. 9 for 16 with a couple of home runs. Not really known as a home run hitter, but you make mistakes, he'll hurt you.
2 on, 1 out. 2-0 pitch. Popped it up behind the mound. Andy Fox at shortstop. The call and the catch, and that's a big out. 2 away in the inning.
Well, that is a huge out. Keep the ball in the infield. No chance to tag up and advance. Boy, Merced had a good pitch to hit. Fastball right down the heart of the plate. Just got underneath it, hit the bottom part of the ball, and popped it out behind the pitcher's mound.
One more big out to go, however. Vladimir Guerrero chops it foul wide of third.
I was about to say, with first base open, it gives you the opportunity to not necessarily pitch around Guerrero, but force him to chase your pitch. This guy, it doesn't matter. And we said it last night. If you let it go, there's a pretty good chance he's going to swing at it. Breaking ball, fastball, change up, in, out, up, down, it doesn't matter. He finds a way to get the head of the bat on the ball.
Guerrero, 22 runs batted in this early season. Runners at second and third in the 0-1. Check swing and a miss. He went too far on the fastball up.
Well, now you would anticipate a series of pitches in the dirt, either breaking balls in the dirt, change-ups in the dirt. Just stay out of the middle of the plate. Guerrero, as we've said, very aggressive, very much a free swinger. He'll chase pitches out of the zone.
Barrett and White at third and second in the 0-2 delivery. Breaking ball in the dirt. Fine stop right there by Kelly Stinnett. Stinnett may not be hitting right now, but he hasn't let it affect his defense.
And this is a tough pitch to block. It's over in that left-handed batter's box. He's able to get the glove in front, keep the runners from advancing. As good as an RBI right there. He just saved a run.
Guerrero 1 of 5 with an RBI in a game last night. And this is trouble in the shallow left center field, and Finley not going to get it. 2 runs will score on a 2-out, 2-run single by Guerrero. They scored all of their runs with 2 men out last night, and they get a 2-out RBI here from Guerrero.
Reynoso's trying to get him to chase a bad pitch. Look at the location on that ball. Stinnett was going down to block it again, and somehow Guerrero's able to doink it out into shallow left center field. Gonzalez and Finley had to respect the power of Vladimir Guerrero. No chance to get to that little pop-up.
He doesn't do it in a pretty fashion, but you look up at the end of the day, and the numbers are there for Vladimir Guerrero. Now 24 runs batted in.
When you hear scouts and managers talk about Vladimir Guerrero, the term raw comes up a lot. Very unpolished. He's not a pretty baseball player. He just goes out there and hacks, uses that great speed in the outfield, that tremendous throwing arm. Really no finesse in his game at all right now.
Brad Fulmer, young Montreal first baseman, looks at a strike on the outside corner. A lot like Travis Lee, Fulmer off to a very slow start here in 1999. You didn't hear much about him playing north of the border last year, but he led all National League rookies in doubles, was second in multi-hit games, extra base hits, and slugging percentage, was 7th in the National League, 44 two-base hits. That's a lot of doubles.
It's a strong young man. You can see those upper arms as he's waving that bat, waiting on the delivery from Reynoso. Strong upper body, strong legs as well.
On the ground, and Fox, he'll play to first, and the inning is over. But Guerrero, a 2-run single, and after a half inning, 2-0 Montreal. Diamondbacks come to bat trailing 2-0 in the Checkers starting lineup for Buck Showalter's team, trying to get to 4 over 500 for the first time in franchise history. Womack in right, Bell at second. Gonzalez, a 23-game hit streak, is in left. Matt Williams at third, Steve Finley in center, Travis Lee at first. A latter third of Stinnett, Andy Fox, and Armando Reynoso. Pizza Hut delivery on right-hander Mike Thurman.
Making his 4th start of the season. You see his numbers. The ERA just under 10. 2 career games against the D-backs. A good ERA, no record. Fastball, curveball, changeup. He's also working on a slider. Now, this is a young man right here that's pitching for his life in the major leagues right now. Off to a poor start to the regular season. Had a poor spring training, 0-3 with a 6.75 ERA down in Florida. This is a big outing for this young man.
25-year-old native of Corvallis, Oregon. And Tony Womack looks at a strike. Womack has the average up to 271, 6 runs batted in. Fouls that one out of play. Womack going into play tonight, 2nd in the National League in stolen bases, to the Dodgers second baseman Eric Young. Young with 18, Tony with 14. Big difference, however, in caught stealing. Young's been thrown out 7 times. Womack only once. Into left center field. Easy play out there for Mondell White. They're 7-9 in left. White moves from left to center. Guerrero in right. Barrett, Cabrera, Wilton Guerrero, and yes, he's Vladimir's older brother. Fulmer at first, and a battery of Thurman and Widget. Now Jay Bell, average at .310, a major league leading 12 home runs. That's right, first in the major leagues, and 25 runs batted in. Bell is homered in each of the last 3 games and has homered in 4 of the last 5 games. And you talk about red hot. During his current 6-game hitting streak, he is batting .529 with 4 homers, 10 scored, and 7 knocked in.
Jay Bell leading the National League with 35 runs scored. That's something that he takes great pride in. He said he wanted to be like Tommy Herr, former second baseman of the St. Louis Cardinals. Every year would score 100, drive in 100, and very rarely hit double figures in home runs. Jay Bell way ahead of Tommy Herr's pace with the long ball.
Chop foul. And Bell's tearing it up at home. He's been nearly a .400 batter in the 14 home games. Thurman goes to work, and it's back up through the middle. Cabrera's there. 2 away. Bobby, if you're in Thurman's position and you know you're pitching for a slot in this rotation, I mean, at only 25 and you haven't been in the major leagues but a little more than a year, does a young guy handle something like that a little better, or does that make it that much tougher?
Well, it just depends on the individual's makeup. You know, if he's the kind of guy that responds well to a challenge, he has to understand what's on the line here tonight. Unfortunately, he's not the kind of pitcher that can change his game. He's very much a finesse pitcher. His fastball's around 88 to 90 miles an hour. He tries to sink it away from the left-handed hitters. Has an overhand curveball and a decent straight changeup. Not a great changeup, a decent changeup. They've been trying to get him to throw the slider more often, which they think will complement his fastball much better than the overhand curve. But at this stage in his career, he just has to go out there and do what he's done in the past to be successful. Hit his spots, keep the ball down, let his defense work behind him.
2-0 to Gonzalez, and he fouls it out of play. Louis, a 23-game hitting streak, longest in the major leagues this season. It's a Diamondbacks franchise record, and he has tied his all-time career high hit streak. He batted in 23 straight games back in '97 with Houston. Fouled out of play. In fact, at 23 in a row. He is tied with a list that includes Dante Bichette, Brett Butler, John Olerud, Lenny Dykstra, and Bip Roberts for the 4th longest hitting streak in the National League during the 1990s. And if you're wondering, the all-time leader in the 90s, Hal Morris, batted in 29 in a row with Cincinnati in 1996. Well, Gonzalez not going to do it his first time up. 1-2-3 go the D-backs, 2-0 Montreal.
Tomorrow on Fox Sports Net, Arizona.
We open the second inning. Chris Widger, first pitch swinging, bounces out to Matt Williams. 1 pitch, 1 out. Montreal a 2-0 lead on a 2-out, 2-run flare into center field by Vladimir Guerrero. And Miller Lite, what's on tap? Tickets available this entire homestand and for the remainder of the year. Well, the Diamondbacks are talk of the town right now. Come on down and check out this ball club. Coyote season is over. The Sun season hangs in the balance. And the Diamondbacks just keep on rolling, especially here at home. They have been exciting to watch in their strike to Orlando Cabrera.
You know, the way the guys are swinging the bats this year, they're never really out of a ball game and to your last ups. Much like Coors Field with the Rockies. The game's never over until the home team bats in the 9th.
And there's a strike. I think if you live close to the ballpark, you could sneak on down here right about now.
A lot of good seats, a lot of empty seats right now. Come on down.
0-2 to Cabrera, hitting at .293. He's had a pretty good year. Punch down the right field line. This is trouble. And it drops foul. I don't know if Montreal is going to do anything. They're so young and they don't have the big money players and they don't have the big name players. But I tell you what, I think they earned a lot of respect They had it going into the game last night. I mean, Buck Showalter said almost the same thing you did, Bobby. They're a dangerous team. They're young. They're aggressive. They're eager. But they proved to everybody last night they're not intimidated and they're not scared of anybody, Randy Johnson included. 13 hits off the big unit, the most he had ever allowed in a start in his career.
Well, most pitchers will tell you, most veteran major league pitchers will tell you they would rather face a veteran lineup, guys who have been in the big leagues, guys that you have an idea how to set them up and get them out, as opposed to a bunch of young free swingers. You can't set up a free swinger.
First strikeout of the night by Reynoso.
I mean, they're going to go to the plate and they're going to get 3 hacks, and they don't care whether you throw them off-speed pitches or fastballs or whether they're in the strike zone or out of the strike zone. They're going to get their 3 swings every time up there.
You know, we were talking about Olympic Stadium in Montreal, and some of you may have read the note. The game last night when they opened the roof here at Bank One Ballpark was the first time the Expos have played a game outdoors in over 2 weeks. Bad weather knocked them out of Colorado. They came home for their longest homestand of the year, almost 2 weeks. And then they went and played in the Houston Astrodome before they came here to Phoenix. It had been too hot last night. It's no wonder they all look like they're painting closets, for crying out loud. Hit down the right field line, and that ball is out of play. Looks like you got in the sun a little bit today, Mr. Brenly.
Windburn. Rode the motorcycle in today. Wind and sand and dirt and everything else that bounces up off those truck tires.
Well, thank goodness you made it safe and sound.
Absolutely.
So then you mean some of your big fans can check you out on the way home on your Harley after the ball game?
They'll hear me before they see me.
The inning is over. 2-0 Montreal. Our Speed Choice Internet question of the game, what about it, Bob, comes from Mike Maliska. And Mike, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, of Phoenix. Has a pitcher ever struck out more than 4 batters in an inning? And Bobby explained, first of all, that you can't strike out 4. You could strike out 150 million.
It could go on infinity, striking out batters. Of course, the batter's allowed to run to first base on a wild pitch or a pass ball on strike 3. The catcher has to run the ball down, pick it up, throw to first base to retire the batter who has struck out. But it's never happened more than 4 times in an inning. The last time it happened in the National League, Kurt Ojala, Florida Marlins, September of last year. In the American League, Blake Stein of the Oakland A's. And to the best of my knowledge, it has not happened yet in the '99 season, but nobody's ever done more than 4 strikeouts in an inning.
Well, we will have our remedial math expert Steve Gilbert go diving into that to find out and make sure it hasn't happened in 1999.
Well, there may be, one inning where 8 guys struck out this year, but
don't ask Steve.
We're not sure.
Hey, by the way, if you would like to send in a question, what about it, Bob? Go to www.speedchoice.com, go to special offers, scroll to the Fox Sports Net Arizona logo and click it on. Matt Williams dribbles it foul, and leave your name, address, phone number, and email address with your question, and you can win 2 tickets to a Diamondbacks game and free installation of Speed Choice. Mike, thank you very much. One and 2 to Matt Williams, leading things off in the D-backs' second inning. Breaking ball down and away. Matt Williams, as you know, named the National League's Player of the Month in the month of April. Well, tomorrow, Major League Baseball has chosen Matt Williams in its first weekly national conference call. I mean, of all the players in baseball they could pick, and they asked Matt Williams to do it. Rounded down to third, and Williams is thrown out by Barrett. Well, what he does is he takes questions for the first 50 members of the media, print, television, radio journalists all over North America. He answers questions for about an hour.
Sounds like fun.
Well, you do that that kind of thing all the time, especially, you know, TV Guide, Entertainment Weekly, USA Today magazine. What else have you been in? The New York Times Sunday magazine, right?
Fortune.
They had a big Fortune magazine. You've been in that magazine.
Well, Soldier of Fortune. Close.
Finley drives one into left field, hit pretty well, but not well enough. And that's the second out of the inning. When did they have that big spread on You and the Family in that New York Times magazine? Was that back like 94, 93, somewhere in there?
You mean the first time?
Yeah, the first time.
I think it was back, early 90s. There've been so many, it's hard to keep track. Good sign for Steve Finley right there. Hit the ball with a little bit of authority to left field, something he's been working on daily in batting practice. Trying to open up that defense, spray the ball around a little bit more.
Travis Lee with a count of 2-0. And he looks at a pitch high.
Travis Lee hitless in the ball game last night, 0 for 4. And we were talking before the ball game, Tom. It just doesn't seem like Travis is driving the ball like he did last year. Teams are pitching him away, consistently away. Draws the walk here from Thurman. And where last year Travis would reach out there and drive the ball into the gap in left center or even into the seats in left field, a lot of ground balls, 99 hoppers. Some of them are getting through the infield. He's getting a few hits, picking up some RBIs here and there, but you know it's going to come. You just hope it comes soon.
So now Kelly Stinnett settles in. Breaking ball low and away. Montreal scored twice in the first inning if you're just joining us. Vladimir Guerrero, a little floater into left center field after getting behind in the count 0-2 and knocked into after 2 men were retired in the inning. Lee, 3 stolen bases, has been thrown out once, and that one fouled back out of play. Lee held by Fulmer over there, and he's running. Swung on and missed, and they won't even bother to throw. Thurman gave Woodard no chance. And Lee is forced stolen base in 5 tries.
Big jump against the pitcher. It appeared to be an off-speed breaking ball. Everything working in Travis's favor, including better than average speed. Travis will fool you on the base pass. He's a big guy, long and lanky. But once he crosses over, it takes about 3 or 4 steps. He's covering a lot of ground.
1-2 delivery, and it's in the dirt. Travis very easily could be a perennial 20-20 guy. 20 or more homers, 20 or more stolen bases. I mean, to have 4, and he's not even getting on base that frequently. Two and 2 to Stinnett, who's due for a big base hit. Slow roller. Barrett. And not in time. Stinnett hustling all the way. And it's an infield hit. If Barrett would have just planted and fired, he'd have probably had it. But on the run, he just lofted it over there. Kelly beats it.
Didn't get much on this throw. Might not have had a good grip. You could see that quick exchange, and there's the changeup floating across the infield. The D-backs might have gotten the benefit of the doubt right there. Kelly Stinnett, as you mentioned, hustling all the way down that line, leaning forward as he hit the base. Ed Rapuano, the first base umpire, gave him the safe call.
Now Andy Fox getting a chance to start tonight at shortstop. Lee advanced on to third, and here's a pitch. On the ground, through the hole into right field. And Foxy with his first RBI of the season. Boy, that's good to see. And the Diamondbacks on the board as they carve the lead in half. It's 2-1. Andy Fox had so many big hits for this team last year and finally comes through here in '99.
Andy's plate appearances have been few and far between, but picks on the first pitch he sees, a breaking ball, hits it on the ground. You see Kelly Stinnett has to hold up and allow that ball to get through into right field. Travis Lee scores easily. For Andy Fox, that's only his 25th at bat of the season.
Well, the bench has been used by and large very little this season. And Buck keeps talking about wanting to get some of these guys some playing time. That one's on the ground foul by Reynoso. I mean, David DeLucci. We never hear from him anymore. DeLucci only 20 at bats. You mentioned Fox. That's his 25th at bat. You would never know Greg Colburn is even around. 19 at bats on the season. But I mean, what are you going to do?
Well, when you got a lineup that's swinging the bat as effectively as most of the starters have been for the D-backs, it's tough to get those guys in there. But in the long run, it benefits the ball club if you can get those bench players some at-bats early in the season, because you're going to need them if the Diamondbacks expect to be in contention for the National League West or for the wild card. It's going to take the whole 25-man roster. The more at-bats you can get your bench players early in the season, the more effective they'll be in the second half.
1-1 to Reynoso, who can swing the bat. He has 3 home runs in his career. He's behind 1-2. And you see his numbers this season. One run home, 2 on, 2 out here in the second. And Thurman turns it loose inside. Two and two. Reynoso waits, and that's strike 3 to end the inning. Diamondbacks score. We go to the third. 2-1 Expos.
Fox Sports Net Arizona, home of the Diamondbacks.
2-1 ball game. Expos lead the Diamondbacks as we move to the third inning. Like to remind you, here's our lineup tomorrow. The last word with Jim Rome at 5:30. Fox Sports News tonight follows that. Then the D-backs and the Expos, the finale of the series. Pre-game show gets underway at 7 o'clock. And Fox Sports News prime time at 10. Again, a reminder for those of you that may have a schedule and have tickets for the game, or you're thinking about coming on down to the ball game tomorrow. It may say on your schedule 7:05. Well, disregard that. It's been moved back to 7:35. Bob Brenly's good friends from ESPN are coming into town. Wilton Guerrero to lead things off. Started the ball game with a single into right field against Reynoso. And there's a strike.
Guerrero, a switch hitter who's had much better luck from the right side this year. You get a look at his numbers in road games so far this season. A .313 hitter batting right-handed, only .192 from the left side. Although he did get a base hit his first time up.
Here's a 2-1. Fouled out of play. Well, Wilton, an entirely different kind of player than his younger brother Vladimir, but nonetheless, a lot of people think this young man has a chance to turn into a fine player. Runs very well, extremely well, in fact. Swings a bat. But like his brother, they both are very young, and they both have mental lapses at times, which lead to mistakes. Vladimir in right field has an unheard of 9 errors. Wilton has 7. Fox is not in time, and that's an infield hit. That's what we're talking about. I'm mean he can fly up the line. Last couple of series, you've seen Womack, Cedeno, and now Guerrero.
Andy Fox, a little trouble getting the grip on that ball before delivering it across the infield in the dirt, and it has been ruled an error on Andy Fox. Just the thinking is if he comes up with that ball cleanly on the first try and makes the throw across the infield, they get Guerrero. But that's the kind of pressure that a speedy runner will put on the defense. You know you have to hurry, and many times it forces you into making mistakes.
Bobby, what do you think? You think if he fields that ball cleanly, he still throws him out?
I think if he gets it out of his glove on the first grab, they get Guerrero at first base. An extra step or two until he finally found the handle on it, and that gave Guerrero a couple extra steps.
We'll keep an eye on Guerrero. 3 stolen bases in 4 attempts. Very short lead over there. Starting to say, though, we've seen Wilton Guerrero, Roger Cedeno, and, of course, Tony Womack. Those are 3 of the fastest guys in the league. Pure speed. And all 3 are built quite differently. You have Wilton Guerrero, who's tall and very skinny. Womack is just not a big guy at all in stature or in weight. Cedeno, very tall, very thick, especially through the trunk. Of course, it would be hard to believe it is 2-0 on Barrett that anybody will come into the National League in the next few years to ever be able to catch up with Deion Sanders when he was playing baseball. I mean, Sanders, one of the fastest men ever at the NFL Combine.
He's the fastest player I ever saw on a baseball field.
Boy, could he run. Taken outside and high, 3-0.
I really hope Deion would give up that silly football stuff and stick to baseball. I mean, he was a good player. He could have been a great player. He worked very hard at his craft. Came to the ballpark early, practiced his bunting for base hits, watched videos, but just tremendously gifted athlete.
And you loved his makeup, the way he went around his business. I know he likes to have the prime time stuff on the football field, but in baseball, he was all business.
You know, I think the situation was in baseball, he realized he wasn't as good as he could be. And he spent a lot of time trying to improve. You know, unlike a lot of guys who are blessed with a lot of talent, they just go out there and get by on talent alone, which you can do for a while, but eventually it'll catch up with you.
3-1 to Barrett, and Guerrero running. Foul out of play. Well, here in the booth, we are friends of Deion Sanders, and we are certainly rooting for him to get back on the football field. I guess he just underwent very serious big toe surgery. They're saying Deion may not come back until a third of the way, halfway through the NFL season. Well, that'd be too bad. He is great for the game, whatever game he's playing.
Well, there were definitely 2 different Deion Sanders. There was prime time that turned it on for the cameras and for the writers. You know, they expected that from Deion. They wanted to see prime time. They wanted to hear the outrageous quotes. And then there was the Deion Sanders who was a teammate to the players on the field that year, and everybody loved Deion.
Guerrero running again, and again fouled off. Wilton getting a workout.
It's all right. Take some of the spring out of those legs. Will also probably throw over another pickoff attempt or 2 before delivering another ball to home plate.
Guerrero now wanting timeout. Well, you know a guy's running when he's tying his shoes.
Now, this is just a stall for him to catch his breath right here. That left shoe wasn't even untied to begin with. He's just trying to catch a little breather down there. Now he's ready to go again.
Got to put on those gloves. moving right along here tonight.
A dizzying pace.
Here's a 3-2 again to Barrett. And again, Guerrero running, and this one is lifted into right center field. Tony will get there. 4 out, number 1.
You know, Tom, I think more so than any other organization, it seems like the Expos develop athletes. They're not really concerned with what position guys play. I mean, Barrett, for example, the guy that just flied out, was drafted as a shortstop, converted to a catcher, and eventually found his way out to third base. Rondell White, a tremendous athlete. We talked about the Guerrero brothers. They're just good athletes, and the Expos try to develop those guys into minor leagues, get instructors down there that can teach them the finer points of the game, and hope that they develop into good major leaguers, at which point they will sign as a free agent with a team in the United States.
Well, you look at some of the players this organization has produced through the years, and it's just a shame of their financial situation up north of the border. As Rondell White pops it up foul ground, will Lee have room? No. Of course, everybody talks about that ball club in 1994 that had the best record in the major leagues when the strike hit. They had Marquise Grissom, homegrown. Mike Lansing, homegrown. Moises Alou, the son of that man right there, Felipe Alou, homegrown. Larry Walker, homegrown. Darren Fletcher, Will Cordero, Cliff Floyd. They had a starting rotation of Jeff Facero and Kenny Hill. Down in the bullpen, they had John Wetland. Pedro Martinez, of course, had originally come over from the Dodgers organization. There's a fly ball into straightaway center field. Should be the second out of the inning, and it is.
But I mean, you go back, and bear in mind, this team did not start playing. It was an expansion team in 1969. You start going through the 1970s, for example, and all of a sudden, names start to crop up like Ellis Valentine and Gary Carter and Warren Cromartie and Andre Dawson, Ron LaFleur, Tim Raines, Tim Wallach at third base. I mean, the list goes on and on. Andres Galarraga. QB Brooks had some good years. They have had a lot of fine players. And in more recent times, you have, you know, I mean, even guys that are right now playing around, like, you know, Mark Rezolanic, solid player. And David Segui for a couple of years, had Henry Rodriguez. He was originally a Dodger. They have had so many fine young players, but they just can't keep them. Rondell White was a guy who signed a long-term contract, and Vladimir Guerrero signed one. So those two are going to be around for a while, which is good news for Montreal fans, although how much longer the franchise stays there remains to be seen. There's a lot of talk about that, in fact, right now. Will they get a new stadium? Will they not get a stadium? If they're unable to get it, will the team be bought and subsequently moved into Northern Virginia? Peter Angelos of Baltimore says over his dead body. Well, we'll see how it all plays out.
Well, I don't think there's any question that Montreal is not willing to support a Major League Baseball team with the kind of numbers that are necessary for them to be a viable Major League city.
You know, we say that, Bobby, and here the Expos are averaging attendance-wise this season, and they've already played a total of 19 home games. They're averaging just above 10,000. How about the Chicago White Sox, averaging barely over 12,000 fans a game in a ballpark that's practically brand new in the third largest city in America?
The White Sox are actually playing some pretty darn good ball at this point in the season, which is really surprising given the fact that they had a miserable spring training. They're only 5.5 games behind the Indians in that Central Division of the American League. A couple games over 500, but nobody wants to go see them.
2-1 delivery on Merced. They pitch out. The runner goes, and the throw is on the money and cut down. Trying to steal is Guerrero to win the inning. We go to the bottom of the third. 2-1 Expos.
Tomorrow on Fox Sports Net, Arizona.
The Diamondbacks on Fox Sports Net Arizona, being brought to you by America West Airlines, the official airline of the Arizona Diamondbacks, and by Bank One, the official bank of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Folks having a lot of fun at the old ballpark. Look at that little guy, got his D-backs uni on, getting bounced around person to person down the road. It's a pretty good deal.
Go visit Uncle Joe for a couple of innings. Huh?
Of course, Uncle Joe's single.
Yeah, well.
And tell you one thing: if you are a male or female in your single, early 20s, 30s, 40s, whatever it may be, you could do a lot worse than come down to Bank One ballpark and hang out for a while. I'll tell you that right now. Because there are, what am I getting at here?
I don't know. I'm waiting. See, I stopped listening.
There are a lot of very nice-looking people in the stands here at Bank One ballpark.
Absolutely.
Of the opposite sex. Womack now a 7-game hitting streak.
Is that it?
I'm going to dig myself a big hole, and I'm not going to be able to get out.
Okay. Watch Tony Womack.
There he goes. And forget about throwing him out. No chance.
Well, you love to see Tony Womack steal on the first pitch. Jay Bell, being very patient, takes a strike to give him an opportunity to steal. I mean, this is no contest. Widger's a very good throwing catcher, and he has absolutely no chance. Thurman just too slow of a delivery to home plate, not enough of a look to the runner at first. Now Jay Bell will try to advance him to third base, either with a ground ball to the right side or perhaps a sacrifice bunt. Now, you don't ask the Major League home run leader to sacrifice bunt. Although, I shouldn't say that. Jay Bell, a very accomplished bunter. See what he's done on this homestand. He's been in the middle of everything.
Well, Montreal not real sure. In at third is Barrett. And Bell takes high. Count goes to 2 balls and a strike. Diamondbacks trailing 2-1. We're in the bottom half of the third inning.
One play I've seen a lot of major league teams do in this particular situation is have the batter at the plate square around as if to bunt, try to draw the third baseman in, and have the runner at second steal third base. Try to get that third baseman out of position far enough so that he's retreating, trying to catch the ball from the catcher, find the base, and put down the tag all at the same time. Barrett playing even with the bag over there at third. We saw Vasquez try to pick Tony Womack off of second base several times in the game last night, and I don't think Thurman's going to have any better luck tonight.
Two-one delivery to Bell. And there goes Womack. And a pitch taken and a throw to third. Not nearly in time. Womack now with 16 stolen bases. You almost have to pick him off to throw him out.
I mean, he has a huge leadoff, and he's so quick getting back to the bag that you can't pick him off. But if you don't attempt to pick off, he'll steal third base as easily as he did right here. I mean, he's sliding across the bag before Barrett even received the ball.
And give Jay Bell some credit. Here he's taking. Even with 2 strikes now, he has a runner at third and nobody out. And he's going to drive in the run. In the hole, Cabrera, nice play, throws out Bell, the tag by Fulmer, but an RBI for Bell, and we are tied at 2. The speed of Tony Womack. Steals second, steals third, ground out, run scored.
And that's why, as a hitter, if you're Jay Bell, you don't mind taking up to 2 strikes. Jay Bell has enough confidence in his ability to put that ball in play. The Expos playing back, conceding the run. Fine play by Cabrera to even get Jay Bell at first base, but picks up that RBI and ties up the game.
All right, we start all over. Here's Luis Gonzalez. High fly ball. Is the hitting streak still going? No. There's room out there for Merced. First left the bat. I thought it was hit a little better than it turned out to be.
Had a little slice on it. He didn't really drive it to the opposite field. He kind of sliced it out there to left field. Hit it very well, but because of the rotation on that ball as it came off the bat, it got out there in the left field and just kind of died on the warning track.
Here's Williams, and that one bounces up there in the dirt. Our SRP power performers, National League RBI leaders numero uno, none other than Matt Williams with 36. The Major League leader, Manny Ramirez, in a month and a week has 42 runs batted in.
It's amazing. I mean, we're talking about guys getting 100 RBIs before the All-Star break this year. Not out of the question. If they stay hot, continue to swing the bat the way they have been, and the guys hitting in front of them in the lineup continue to get on base the way they have been, we may see several players with 100 RBIs at the break.
Sharp one hopper. Nice play by Cabrera. He's made a couple of them in the inning, and that's that. Womack steals the show, steals the run. Greg Schulte over in a moment. We're tied at 2.
We're 2-2 as we move to the 4th inning here at Bank One Ballpark. Hi once again, everybody. Along with Bob Brenly, I'm Greg Schulte, and the Diamondbacks manufactured a run that last inning, courtesy of one Mr. Tony Womack.
I'll tell you, a lot of differences between this year's team and last year's team, but I think the biggest difference is the addition of Tony Womack at the top of that order. I mean, he gets on first base, he changes the entire complexion of the inning. He forces the pitcher to pitch differently. He forces the defense to position themselves differently. And it, most of the time, doesn't make any difference. He's still going to steal the base, get himself into scoring position.
Haven't seen him do much of stealing third so far this year, but he picked a good pitch to go on. And he's got 2 more steals to add to his credit. 16 now on the year for Tony Womack. He's closing in very fast on one Eric Young of the Dodgers. Here it's Merced who is at the plate when Wilton Guerrero was caught stealing to end the last inning. A little looper into left. Gonzo over now into left center. He's got it, one away. So Merced flies to Gonzalez to start things here in the Expos 4th. We'll be here a while tonight with Armando Reynoso on the mound. That's all right as long as the Diamondbacks win.
Hey, whatever it takes.
That's right. He throws this one outside to Vladimir Guerrero. Such an effective pitcher when he gets ahead of the hitters. And that's what he's been doing since the 2nd inning. He falls behind this man, however, Vladimir Guerrero. This guy's got a world of talent.
We're talking about Reynoso. A term you hear a lot of in baseballs these days is he can expand the strike zone. Of course, you can't do that unless you're ahead in the count. If you throw strike 1 on the batter, now you can go a little further out off of the outside corner, a little further off the inside corner. Maybe throw that fastball up around the letters, go out of the strike zone, and that batter has to be a little more defensive, and he'll chase pitches out of the zone. Thereby, they say the pitcher's expanding the strike zone. And against a young, free-swinging team like the Expos, if you can get ahead in the count, you can get them to chase some bad pitches.
Oh, a big swing and a miss by Vladimir Guerrero. Vladimir's from the old school. How many players do you see play the game now that do not use at least one batting glove?
Well, Guerrero is one of them. Players call that bareback. Mark Grace, another guy that only when it's extremely cold in Chicago will he put batting gloves on, but very few guys in the big leagues that don't use batting gloves. At least one.
Chopped down to third.
Well, another guy that doesn't use gloves isn't playing right now, but the son of Felipe Alou, Moises Alou. I don't believe he wears batting gloves.
I think you're right.
I remember seeing those big, strong forearms and huge hands wrapped around the handle of the bat in Houston last year.
Did you use one or two when you play?
I wear as many as they would let me. You know, it kind of went with the feel. In the summertime when the weather was nice and warm and the pine tar would get a little sticky, I didn't like to wear gloves then. Like the feel of that wood, you know, you felt like you always had a little better grip barehanded, but playing in Candlestick Park, I wore mittens some nights out there.
They got a slugfest going on in San Francisco tonight. I'll tell you about that in a moment. Following this 3-2 pitch, just fouled back. Atlanta got 4 in the first off Sean Estes. The Giants came back with 6 hits, 2 walks, scored 6 in the first off Odalis Perez, and Atlanta's just scored a run to make it a 6-5 game.
Wow.
How about those Giants?
Hard to believe. It's really a testament once again to Dusty Baker.
Matt Williams has it go off his glove and into left field, and Vladimir Guerrero is aboard with a hit. The ball was really hit hard. Well, we're going to see the Giants on our next road trip, brought to you by La Quinta. 3-game series in San Francisco, 4-game set in Colorado. It's right around the corner. Let me ask you a question, and it might sound a little strange, but Barry Bonds being out, are the Giants playing more relaxed as a ball club with Barry not around?
Well, you know, I'm not sure what Barry was bringing to the table this year. There have been times in the past when he was somewhat of a distraction to his team. You know, had a lot of problems with the media and what have you. Seemed like a very quiet spring training for Barry Bonds and a very quiet early season. So I don't know that. I mean, I'm sure if you ask Dusty Baker, they'd love to have him back, and you know, most of his teammates would probably say the same thing. But there are probably some of the guys on the team that are a little more relaxed since the big guy's not there.
Vladimir Guerrero has not stolen a base. Go all the way back to last year, and he's up against a tough cookie right here. This is a guy who's known for his speed, for his arm, for his bat. 5-tool guy. What's happened to the stolen bases with Guerrero?
Well, he still needs to learn how to become a base stealer. I told Tommy earlier, the word you hear when they talk about Vladimir Guerrero is raw. He has a lot of raw talent. It's really quite the art, learning how to steal bases, how to pick the right pitch, the right count, steal a base when your team needs you to steal a base, and he hasn't learned those nuances of base stealing at this point.
Tony Womack for the Diamondbacks, who has 2 steals tonight, says, I don't steal just to steal. I steal when we need something or when it means something. Case in point, last inning, stole second, stole third, scored on an infield out, manufactured a run. Reynoso against Brad Fulmer, and a tapper back to the mound. Reynoso to the bag at second, back to first. They get them both. 1-6-3. Reynoso, Fox, and Lee on the twin killing. We go to the bottom of the 4th. We're tied at 2. 2-2 Diamondbacks and Expos, and the Diamondbacks, Bob, just turned their 28th double play of the season.
Well, pitchers can help themselves with that glove. Once you let that ball go, you become an infielder. Reynoso in good position. Strong throw to Andy Fox at second base. Strong relay throw to Travis. Tailor-made double play ball.
Greg Maddux, the best fielding pitcher right now in baseball.
I wouldn't argue with that for a second. Greg Maddux does everything well that you would expect a pitcher to do. Great fielder, always has his head in the ball game, helps himself with the bat, helps himself running the bases, and he's a pretty fair pitcher too.
Yeah. Steve Finley, Travis Lee, and Kelly Stinnett here for the Diamondbacks in the home half of the 4th inning. Finley corks one foul to Wayne Murphy. Ducked out of the way of that one.
You know, we talked about it with Omar Dahl the other day. I personally feel that Dahl is paying the price for the new strike zone this year. A lot of people are downplaying it, but I think that in the games I've seen, umpires are not going 6, 8, 10 inches off the corner as they have in the past. Finley takes a called strike 3. Of course, I could be wrong on this last pitch to Finley. It looked like it might have been a little inside, but I think Maddox is another guy that's paying the price for the new strike zone. You be the umpire.
Well, looked a little off the, well, yeah, looked a little off the plate to me. It's Greg Bonet. Didn't look off the plate to him. There's a base hit to left by Travis Lee. That was a good looking hit. Well, tonight, don't miss Fox Sports News primetime for your chance to win a trip to watch baseball's best in Boston. Just watch Fox Sports News weeknights for the clue, and then log on to foxsports.com to enter the We're Having the Ball sweepstakes, brought to you by 1010-220 in Valvoline.
Well, the way the D-backs are going, they may field the whole National League starting lineup. Well, not quite.
Travis Lee has a stolen base. Diamondbacks have 3 as a team tonight. Boy, their steal percentage. They're now 33 of 38 on the year. Bucks got the sleeves rolled up tonight. Warm night here inside the ballpark.
Beautiful night for
That's great. Huh?
Just perfect.
Steal percentage coming into the ball game was, what was it, 85, 86%. We got our mathematician Steve Gilbert over here figuring things out for us.
I saw him take his shoes off. I figured he was trying to help us out there.
What'd you come up with?
He's got to take off his other shoe.
33 of 38 steals. Lee a lead, and he'll draw a throw over there. Young Mike Thurman. 87%. That's pretty good. Now, I rounded it off to the next figure. It's 86.8 actually. Kelly Stinnett got an infield hit his first time up, and that helped the Diamondbacks get a run. Moves ahead in the count, 2-0.
You know, it's interesting. We were talking about Vladimir Guerrero and his inability to steal bases, even though he's considered to be one of the fastest runners in baseball. And you look at a guy like Travis Lee. I mean, Travis is not going to knock out your eyes with his speed on the bases. Yet at a very early age in his major league career, he's learned how to pick the right count to run on, how to put that pitcher to sleep, take a short lead off, take another short lead off, and then on the third pitch just take off on the first movement. He can put a pitcher to sleep, and he's perfect in stolen base attempts this year.
Yeah, he just likes to play the game. Wasn't it the first spring training game he had like 4 hits, stole a base, and Buck had to get him out of there for he might hurt himself.
They played that one inter-squad game over at the minor league facility, and I mean, Travis was like a man playing with boys that day. He got a hit every time up. He stole bases. He scored on an infield out that he shouldn't have.
Hit a bomb for a homer.
Just went nuts out there.
That's into left field, but right at Merced. That's the catch. And Travis Lee hustles back to first. Stinnett hit it hard, but right at Merced. 2 outs now. Andy Fox got a big hit for himself. Not only the ball club, but for himself his first time up. Foxy's been struggling, only 24 at-bats coming in. He works as hard every day, regardless if he's playing or not. And his single got by first and scored the first run of this game.
He takes ground balls at third, at short, at second. Shags fly balls in the outfield just in case.
Usually one of the first guys in the clubhouse every day. He is settling into the role the Diamondbacks expected him to occupy when he joined the ball club, and he the ball club that they had last year, he was forced to play, and he produced, and he was in the lineup every day. It didn't matter what position. Lee draws another throw. Thurman's paying a little bit more attention to Travis this time.
You can be pretty sure Andy Fox is glad that Greg Colburn is aboard this year, though. I mean, as versatile as Andy was last year, one thing that he did not want to have to do was go behind the plate as the emergency catcher.
Colburn's not real keen on it either.
Well, but he's been back there before, so it's not a totally strange position for him.
Foxy takes a strike. How about the Diamondbacks at home? .311 batting average coming in here tonight. 14 games, 102 runs. And they've only given up 65 opponent runs. This has become a, I'll quote Tommy, I heard him earlier tonight talking to somebody, a juggernaut here at Bank One Ballpark for this club. Lee runs a throw to second, and he is out. They got him that time. Woodger threw him out. Looked like Travis might have had the back of the bag. And the inning's over. So Fox will lead off in the 5th. We're through 4. We're tied at 2. Well, there you see it, 2-2. Diamondbacks and the Expos. We move to the 5th. You make the call.
Well, safe. Very close. Travis hand on the bag as Cabrera tags him on the back of the left shoulder, sliding in there. Very close. Umpires don't have the benefit of the replay. It's a very quick play. Dirt flying, gloves flying, cleats flying.
He was safe.
He was safe.
Frank Pulley called him out. There's a strike to Chris Widger. So the Diamondbacks now 3 of 4 in base stealing attempts tonight. Widger, Cabrera, and Thurman. Long fly ball down the left field line. Gonzo over. He'll run out of real estate. You never know. Luis has got a 23-game hitting streak, or if he was in a 23-game slump. Always the same demeanor. He's got a smile on his face, saying hi to you, talking. Back up the middle, and that's a hit for Widger. So a leadoff single to start the Expo 5th. Well, you can win when the Diamondbacks hit a home run during the Bank One home run jackpot inning. That's the 6th inning every night. To be a contestant, simply mail us a postcard with your name and address to Bank One Homer Jackpot, P.O. Box 2095, Phoenix, Arizona 85001.
Well, depending on what happens in the 5th inning, obviously, but the lineup could roll right around to the middle in the 6th inning.
That would be fun. Here's Orlando Cabrera, he of the many chains around his neck. Widger will get back to the bag at first. A big old thick one, at least. It looked like it was many, but it's
just one big one. It's in case he wants to lock up his bike outside of Olympic Stadium.
Pretty good looking ball player. Good glove.
Great range at shortstop.
Yeah.
Covers a lot of ground in the hole up the middle of the field. He's able to play a very deep shortstop because he has such a strong throwing arm.
Good batting average at the moment. He's got a couple of homers, 7 doubles, couple of triples. And Nusso struck him out the first time, gets ahead of him here. And we'll see if he, quote unquote, expands the strike zone.
Well, Cabrera's punched out 14 times on the season, including a strikeout in the 2nd inning, walked only twice. So he's been expanding that zone quite a bit.
Double play ball to second. Bell to Fox to first to Lee. Second in 2 innings for the Diamondbacks. And they're 2 away. Jay Bell, a little high toss to Andy Fox, but Foxy at 6'4", able to corral it with an easy toss to first.
Yeah, if you're going to make a poor toss to Andy Fox, better off throwing it high than low.
So 2 down now for the pitcher Thurman. Reynoso starts him off with a strike. Reynoso in the 1st inning was not starting the hitters off with a strike or getting ahead. and that caused him some problems. But since that time, he's been at his best. There's a ground to second. Bell take his time and throw out the pitcher. And the inning is over. A hit, double play, nobody left. We go to the bottom of the fifth. We're tied at 2. 2-2 ball game. Diamondbacks Expos. We move to the bottom of the fifth. Well, it's the best of Pac-10 college baseball action, only on Fox Sports Net Arizona. Tune in Saturday at 7. Fox Sports Net Arizona. Arizona takes on rival Arizona State. Couple of Coyotes, Phoenix Coyotes. Jim Cummings, Greg Adams here tonight at Bank One Ballpark.
Well, the guys with all the scars and bruises are the hockey players.
Greg Adams played collegiately, played hockey at NAU when they still had hockey.
Well, you talk about guys that really must look forward to the offseason.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd like to extend the playoffs and play for the Stanley Cup every year, but man, once that season's over, those guys have to just take a sigh of relief. Whew.
And say it's over. Andy Fox was at the plate when Travis Lee was called out to end the last inning on a steal attempt. Foxy shortened the bunt, took the pitch high ball one. Well, we mentioned ASU and Arizona Saturday at 7. Sun Devils 38-19. You remember last year they were in the championship game at Omaha. Arizona 31-20. Always regarded as one of the best college baseball series in the country. And those two teams will go at it. Bad play by our gang over there. They ducked out of the way. Here's the next one to Foxy. He hits that one foul down the left field line.
You know, the fans here at Bank One Ballpark have represented themselves well on foul balls hit into the stands, but this press level, a lot of work to be done up here. A lot of bad hands. Especially Brubaker. Did you see him clank that ball the other night? That was ugly.
Yeah.
This little soft floater
Sure he
hit
heard about
right
it all day.
to him. Right to him.
There's Brew.
Just clanked it.
Two the count here on Fox leading off. And it's slow, ball 3. Foxy would like to get on to allow Reynoso a chance to move him up. Bobby Freeman on the organ trying to get the fans going here in the 5th inning. Bobby does a good job on that organ. Night in and night out here at Bank One Ballpark. Fox a hard hit ball to second. And there's one away.
That's one of the biggest at-bats a number 8 hitter will have in a ball game. When you're leading off the inning, as you said, Greg, if Andy Fox could reach right there, it really sets up the inning for Buck Showalter. He can use Reynoso to sacrifice Fox to second base, and then top of the order rolling around, a pretty good chance that the Diamondbacks will find a way to get Andy Fox home. But if the number 8 hitter does not reach, now Reynoso has to swing the bat. And even though he's a dangerous hitter for a pitcher, still rather have him up there sacrifice bunting a man into scoring position.
Reynoso missed that first pitch by plenty. And that one's into the dirt. He's aggressive up there at the plate. He'll take his hacks.
Very active with his feet, moving around in the batter's box.
He gave up 2 to the Expos in the first inning. Since that time, only 2 hits, a couple of double plays behind him. So he's done it on the mound here tonight. And he takes strike 2. Anybody in the league slower than Greg Bonet with the call? Very slow and deliberate.
Jerry Lane is pretty slow as well. Takes a while to get that arm up there.
Reynoso strikes out. And Tony Womack's done himself a heck of a job in this ball game tonight.
It's been a busy night. Back in the 3rd inning, he singled, stole second, stole third, and scored on an infield out off the bat of Jay Bell. You called it, Greg, manufacturing a run.
Like those old-time movies you see of the baseball players after they hit the home run, running around the bases. Grounded to second. Guerrero didn't take any time whatsoever. He threw him out. Diamondbacks down in order. Here in the fifth, second time they've been set down 1-2-3. We're still tied after 5. Well, what's on tap brought to you by Miller Lite. And there are tickets available for the remaining games on this homestand. You see the numbers on the screen right now. We specify there are plenty of $4 seats available here at Bank One Ballpark. So you can come on out to the ballpark and see the Diamondbacks, who have been scoring a ton of runs here at Bank One Ballpark. 11-3 coming in. It's a real bargain. Come out and see Major League Baseball. Colorado Rockies coming in this weekend. Their big bats, Larry Walker, Dante Bichette, Vinny Castilla. I'm pumped about disco night on Friday night. I've got my appointment already for the hairdresser. I'm gonna go get everything taken care of. Get that old
staying alive. I think we'll probably hear that song several times Friday night.
Found a great website today. It's top tunes, top #1 songs from 1930 through 1999. He's all ready for Friday night. But anyway, 1930 through 1999, #1 songs. Another foul by the leadoff man here, Wilton Guerrero. And you can go in and get the lyrics for each one of those songs.
Well, you were showing me some of the sites that you found
Staying
recently.
Alive was one of the
that was one of the songs
we pulled up. But anyway, it is a bargain here at the ballpark. $4 seats, plenty of them available for each and every game. Not only on the homestand we've got going on right now here with the just completed Mets, this Expos ball club, and the Rockies, but future homestands coming up throughout the course of this 1999 season. And school's almost out for summer. So plan to make it a night. There's strike 3 called. Guerrero's out of there. And that is number 3 on the night for Reynoso. Expos have got J.D. Smart, Maxwell's brother.
Chief
Max. See what happens when they want him to come in. He takes off his shoe and answers his phone.
bullpen phone in his shoe, huh? Well, Joe believe.
Missed it by that much. Little looper to right. Womack has been that close all night long on those fly balls. And that's a hit for Barrett. And for the Expos, their 6th hit of the night. So Michael Barrett's on base ahead of Rondell White. Well, this copyrighted telecast presented by authority the Arizona Diamondbacks may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of the Arizona Diamondbacks and Fox Sports Net Arizona. Barrett, in case you're wondering, has 1 stolen base for Montreal this season. But he's going up against a tough cookie here. And Reynoso starts Rondell White out with a strike.
We talked a lot about Felipe Alou and his ability to handle these young, inexperienced Expos ball club. He has a unique way of phrasing things at times. He was asked about Rondell White when White was a rookie, and he said this young man has thunder in his hands.
Thunder in his hands.
Thunder in his hands.
Okay.
Really generates a lot of power.
You mentioned Rondell White. Doesn't it seem like he should be about 33, 34 years old? He's only 27. Came up at a very early age. He's been very productive.
When healthy.
Yeah. Last year limited to 97 games. Had 17 home runs at the time. 58 RBIs when his season was cut short. Nice block again by Stinnett. Had a thought of throwing to first, but decided against it. 1997, Rondell White had 28 home runs. Drove in 82. Hit 270.
When he broke into the league, he looked like a very young Andre Dawson. Same type of player, great speed, great arm, tremendous power at the plate, but injuries have really cut his production down from what it could have been.
A lot of teams wanted him during the offseason. Nothing transpired. Not to say it might not before. Oh, that hit him or it hit the bat? It hit him. Heard that all the way up here. And Rondell White will go to first. Buck Showalter's not so sure that that ball hit the batter on something other than the bat. And Greg Bonet.
Just take a listen to this pitch from Armando Reynoso to Rondell White.
That almost sounded like bat.
You know, sometimes, especially when the batter starts his swing and stops it, the knob of the bat will be pointed directly at the ball. And many times that pitch will hit directly off the knob of the bat. It may have caught a piece of his hand, but it appeared that the majority, the brunt of that pitch was taken off the knob of the bat.
And also not only has a good move to first, he's got a good move to second. Rondell White didn't appear to be in a lot of pain the way that sounded. I would.
No, if you get hit in the hand with a fastball, the trainer will be spraying that ethyl chloride on your hand right now, and the trainer will be asking you think you can stay in, but he seems to be all right.
Definitely got the heart pumping a little bit. How about another double play ball? Diamondbacks have turned two in the last 2 innings. Got a good man up there at the plate. Merced, you can double him. And you'd like Vladimir Guerrero to be leading off next inning.
Well, Felipe Alou said Rondell White had thunder in his hands. I guess that means it doesn't hurt when you hit him there.
That's right. Hit in the air and right. Womack goes back for it. Barrett's tagging at second. There's a catch. Womack gets it back into the cutoff man, Jay Bell. Barrett will go to third. And now the Expos have runners on the corners, but there are 2 men out. The ball went a little further than I thought it was going to. Vladimir Guerrero is 2 for 2 and has driven in both of Montreal's runs. Two outs and runners in scoring position. You see the damage he's done. Overall this season with runners in scoring position, he came in hitting .361. So that average has gone up.
Here was that single off the bat of Vladimir Guerrero back in the first inning. Reached out and hooked a breaking ball, golfed it right off the ground into shallow left center field.
That's what you call expanding the strike zone. But credit Guerrero, he went down and got it. Got just enough of it. And they're going to get him this time. Kelly Stinnett almost hit Greg Bonet, the umpire, when he tossed the mask away and makes the catch. 2 stranded. And we will go to the bottom of the 6th. Home run derby time coming up. We're tied at 2. Well, the Diamondbacks on Fox Sports Net Arizona, brought to you by Miller Lite, the great taste of a true Pilsner beer. And by Gatorade. Is it in you? Greg Schulte, Bob Brenly. Fans having fun, buying some gifts to take home. All right, it's time now for our Bank One home run jackpot inning. If a Diamondbacks player hits a home run, Hugh Yeomans of Kingman, Arizona will win $500 of mutual fund shares courtesy One Group Mutual Funds, Bank One's mutual fund family.
Expos used to have a pitcher named Floyd Yeomans.
Yeah, I remember him.
Hard throwing right-hander.
Didn't he lose a ton of games in a row at one time? Or am I thinking of somebody else?
That was Anthony Young.
Anthony Young,
yeah.
That's right. Jay Bell takes strike 1. We have a new pitcher, J.D. Smart.
Would you believe he's not given up a run on the road yet this year?
Would you believe?
7 innings pitched on the road, has yet to give up a run. Good hard slider you see right there. Jay Bell can't get it. Our next call to the bullpen. This is the 11th ball game of the season. Fine ERA. Not much of a strikeout total. 8 walks.
It's in the bad bullpen that Felipe Alou has put together. Count has gone to 2-2 on Bell. Again, it's our home run jackpot inning. Hugh Yeomans of Kingman, Arizona. 3-2. How many times, Bob, during the course of a ball game do we say full count on Jay Bell? Seems like every time up. Bell, Gonzalez, and Williams here in the 6th. And that ball hit bat. Keeps Bell at the plate.
We saw that happen last night in the game when Jay Bell checks his swing and the ball goes underneath his hands and hits the barrel of the bat behind his body. Same thing happened in the game last night. He did it again.
He did it again.
Well, he's fortunate not to get plunked on the hand or the arm or the wrist on this play. You see it just misses that right arm and hits the barrel of the bat again.
Well, let's see what happens on this 3-2 pitch. We'll foul that one out of play. Jay Bell's #1 in homers in the National League and the majors with 12. #1 in runs with 35. 2nd in multi-hit games, total bases, extra base hits. 4th in slugging percentage. And probably is #1 in seen pitches here in 1999. I think he was 2nd all of last year. Pretty good group coming up here in our home run jackpot inning. Bell, Gonzalez, and Williams. They've combined for 31 home runs already. Down the left field line, but foul. So Bell's making new pitcher J.D. Smart work.
J.D. Smart got away with a hanging slider right there. He's very fortunate Jay Bell didn't hit that ball in the seats. He's shown a pretty good slider when he keeps it on the outside part of the plate. Little tailing fastball inside.
It's driven to center. And White's got it. One away. Luis Gonzalez will come to the plate. Well, Luis is 0 for 2 tonight. Is it in 23 consecutive games? Let's see what happens here. Matt Williams moves out on deck. 2-2 game. Expos led 2-0 after 1. Diamondbacks single tallies in the 2nd and the 3rd. And Gonzo takes the first one down low. Gonzo is 2nd in batting average, 2nd in on-base percentage, 2nd in slugging percentage, 3rd in hits, total bases, and 3rd in extra base hits in the National League. And he takes ball 3. Trying to get on base ahead of Matt Williams here. There's a drive into center. Rondell White will chase it down. He just made that catch. Well, started to tail away from him. He got a little smile on his face. Gonzo, green light on 3-0. Hit it hard, but he's out #2, and he's 0 for 3.
Rondell White makes a couple of adjustments on the fly there. Has to reach out and extend at the last second to catch that ball off the bat of Luis Gonzalez. Oh, Luis smoked that one. Needs to find a gap.
And now's Matt Williams. And that's 0 for 2. A couple of groundouts. The 2, 3, 4 hitters for the Diamondbacks tonight, a combined 0 for 8 against Montreal pitching. That's lifted out of play.
Well, since J.D. Smart has come on here in the 6th inning, we haven't really seen him throw any off-speed pitches. His fastball's been around 90, 92. Throwing a hard slider, 86 or 87 miles an hour. Not really much difference between the two pitches. Of course, the Diamondbacks haven't seen John David Smart before, so learning on the fly here.
Matty takes one outside. Williams is number 1 in RBIs, multi-hit games, hits, total bases, extra base hits, 2nd in doubles and homers, and 3rd in slugging percentage. Seems like if Williams, Bell, or Gonzalez is not leading the category, one of the other guys is, and the other one's 2nd or 3rd. Matty's in the hole here, 1 and 2. Thurman pitched well, 5 innings tonight in Montreal. And now it's on to the bullpen for the Expos. Matt Williams strikes out. Diamondbacks down in order. Thom Brennaman rejoins you in the 7th. I'm Greg Schulte through 6. We're still tied at 2.
We're back at Bank One Ballpark. We are tied at 2 as Montreal comes to bat here in the top half of the 7th inning. Thom Brennaman alongside Bob Brenly. Armando Reynoso in 8 days between starts. He's pitched well here tonight.
Yeah, he's pitching perhaps one of his better outings of the year. He's worked very deliberately, as you mentioned earlier in the broadcast. That's his style. That's what he does. But he's limited the Expos, a very aggressive hitting team, to only 4 base hits in this game. The 2 runs coming in the 1st inning. He's settled in very nicely since then.
1-0 to Brad Fulmer as we open the 7th. Fly ball lifted into straightaway center field, and Brenly is there. One away. Reynoso allowed 2 runs, 3 hits in the opening inning. Of course, the base hit that knocked in the run was just a little flare into shallow left center field off the bat of Vladimir Guerrero. He has only allowed 3 hits, no runs over the next 5 1/3 innings.
A couple of double plays bailed him out. One in the 4th inning, one in the 5th. Foul ball looked like it got a piece of Kelly Stinnett's right shoulder. He's not going to rub it.
Nope. Just hang that sign. Widger waits, hit off the end of the bat, foul, and it's quickly 0-2. Widger 1 hit in 2 at-bats. He's bounced to 3rd, single to center in the 5th. This Widger is swinging the bat a lot better than I remember seeing him even last year.
He's matured into a pretty good major league catcher. Solid defensively behind the plate. He'll throw out the guys he should throw out. Tremendous blocker of balls in the dirt. But not too many people know about it.
Nope. He's another guy that signed a long-term deal to stay with the Montreal Expos. They offered him a contract despite the fact that he hasn't been in the major leagues for even 3 years. Signed to a 4-year deal with a club option for 2002. Tell you one thing, if Montreal were to move, say, to Northern Virginia, just outside the nation's capital of Washington, D.C., and all of a sudden they had a few dollars to spend, it would not take them very long to have a very exciting, fun, and highly competitive team, because they have some pretty good pieces. And Widger's hit on a 1-2 pitch by Reynoso.
Looked like another hitter getting hit in the hand. Perhaps the elbow. Not sure exactly where that got him, but it spun him around in circles on his way down to first base. It looks like he's still in a considerable amount of pain. They're going to have to take a look at Chris Widger before he's allowed to continue in this ball game.
And they are looking at the elbow. The back elbow looks like the right elbow. Or is it the left? Oh, it is a left. I don't know. He's kind of holding out the right a little bit. Now they're holding on to the left.
We'll get another look at it here. Fastball that runs up and in. Oh, Looks like he caught the inside of that right elbow as he dove in there. You hate to see anybody get hurt getting hit by a pitch, but not much of an effort to get out of the way there. You know, the guys are getting plunked a lot this year. You know, we saw Jay Bell very close to getting hit a couple times. Rondell White hit on the hands. A lot of batters dive in there toward the plate. They carry their hands with them into the strike zone, and then when the ball happens to run up and in, they're unable to get out of the way.
Manny Martinez will come on to run in place of Woodger. We certainly hope he's going to be all right. So now Orlando Cabrera. No activity in the Diamondbacks bullpen. We are in the 7th. 2-2 game. Cabrera struck out and bounced into a double play. And the runner goes. Pitch taken. Throw down to second by Stinnett, and it's into center field. Martinez jumps to his feet, and he will easily make it to third. Stolen base and a throwing error by Stinnett, and the lead run is now at third.
Kelly Stinnett rushes his throw here. Gives Andy Fox a tough short hop to try to deal with. He just fanned on that throw in the dirt. Tried to put his glove above the ball, catch it as his glove was going down toward the ground, and apply the tag, and just wasn't able to come up with it.
The infield draws in. Cabrera has struck out just 14 times in 118 at bats. Softly hit in the shallow left. Gonzalez a slide. He did not make the catch. It's a base hit. Scoring from third is Martinez, and the Expos lead 3-2.
Gonzalez gave it a good effort. He was fooled a little bit. The ball coming off the bat. He froze in his tracks initially. Tried to come on strong. You can see by that replay very clearly he short hopped that ball, but he's a salesman. He tries to sell it to the umpire that he caught that ball in the air, but third base umpire Charlie Williams was out there getting a pretty good look at it and said, no, you didn't.
All right, Jose Vidro is now pinch hitting for J.D. Smart. Smart looked mighty good in the one inning he pitched, retiring Bell, Gonzalez, and Williams, although Gonzalez stung his pretty good. Runner goes, and a pitch is taken. Stinnett fires to second, and did they get him? Yep. Frank Pulley needed to find out if Fox held on to the ball.
Kelly takes just a little bit longer this time to unload the ball. Make sure he gets it down there in the air. Strong throw. You can see him wind up a little bit, gets it down there in the air. A good quick tag by Andy Fox. Frank Pulley said they got him.
Well, I don't think I've ever seen an umpire stand as far away from a second base bag on a throw and a tag play down to second as Frank Pulley does. He is a long ways away from the bag. 2-0 to Vidro. High fly ball into left center. Should end the inning, and it will, but not before the Expos take the lead. 3-2 as we go to the bottom of the 7th, and we take you to the Fox Network Center.
It's now time for the 7th-inning stretch. National Car Rental presents this Fox Sports News Sports Break.
I'm Kevin Frazier of Fox Sports News here with this sports break. According to a medical examiner's report, former Dallas Cowboys lineman Mark Tooney died accidentally after combining heroin and a stimulant. And Anaheim has placed Tim Salmon on the 15-day disabled list with a sprained left wrist. Salmon becomes the 9th Angel currently on the DL. News, scores, and highlights nightly on Fox Sports News right here on Fox Sports Net.
The Diamondbacks on Fox Sports Net Arizona, being brought to you by your Arizona Dodge dealers, setting the standard in product quality and customer service, and by America West Airlines, the official airline of the Arizona Diamondbacks. We're in Bank One ballpark, and the Diamondbacks trail Montreal 3-2. And we saw the left-hander last night. Now on the pitch for the Expos, Steve Klein.
Look at his numbers on the season. Pitching in his 11th ball game, good ERA. Tailing fastball, a hard slider. A couple of other changes defensively. Widger has to leave the game because of the bruise to his right elbow area. Mike Mordecai comes on to play third base, and Michael Barrett moves from third behind the plate. We mentioned that he was drafted as a shortstop, immediately converted into a catcher, and now finds himself splitting time between third base and the catching position.
Barrett, in fact, was the Expos minor league player of the year last year as a catcher. Steve Finley, Travis Lee, Kelly Stinnett. And there's a strike to Finley. They have a nasty closer with this Montreal Expos team in Ugep Urbina. 6 saves this season. We're only in the 7th, so we won't see him quite yet. 1-1 to Finley. Although Urbina's had a few bumpy moments this season, but the league is only hitting .222 against him. Here's a 1-1. High and in. Klein faced Finley and Lee in the 7th inning last night. Got Finley to ground out to first and struck out Travis. And he'll get Finley to bounce out to first again. The heart of the Diamondback order has been as quiet as they could possibly be. Bell is 0 for 3, knocked in a run with a ground out. Gonzalez 0 for 3. Williams 0 for 3, and Finley 0 for 3. Those nights have been few and far between this year. Lee, on the other hand, has reached twice. He's walked, stolen a base, scored a run, and singled. And it's ball 1 low.
In his defense, Luis Gonzalez has hit the ball hard every time up tonight. Flew out to the warning track in left field, to the warning track in deep center field. But still an 0. Still a big old hang with him.
2-0. Good eye on a breaking ball there by Travis. See if Klein will come back, and Travis gets a fastball to hit here. Lee waits. Low and away. Was a fastball, but not anywhere close. Giants and the Braves 7-6 San Francisco. That game is in the top of the 6th inning. On the outside corner, a strike. And the Cubs lead the Dodgers, top of the 7th, 7-4. Inside, good eye by Lee. He's had a good night tonight. Been on base all 3 times.
Showing good patience and a good eye for the strike zone, drawing the 2 walks, and his base hit was smoked into left field. We mentioned earlier in the game, he doesn't seem like he's been driving the ball as much as he did last year, but good signs in the ball game tonight.
Montreal has a right-hander, Telford, ready in the bullpen. They are going to leave Klein in for the time being to face Stinnett, who has an infield hit and is lined out hard to left. Pitch on the way. High and away, ball 1. Diamondbacks have a lot of options on that bench. They have Gilkey, Colbran from the right side. David DeLucci, of course, from the left side, along with Tony Batista, another right-handed batter. Hanley Frias, a switch hitter. Damian Miller you wouldn't use yet, right, Bobby, being a second catcher? Well, although Colbran could be your third.
Yeah, probably not. Damian Miller would probably be saved for a later situation, where you pass the point of no return as far as using both of your quote-unquote catchers. Colbran would still be the third guy, but you got to believe the Buck would save Damian Miller probably as his last pinch hitter that he'll use in this ball game.
Word on Chris Widger, a right elbow bruise. That's good news.
Well, it's
always good when you don't hear anything serious.
Right. Yeah. Could be worse news.
That's what I mean. 1-1 pitch.
down the left field line and ball hooking foul. So hopefully, Chris, if you're downstairs watching the game on the tube, hopefully you'll be back in there tomorrow.
Well, I've said this before. I mean, everybody at some point in their life has bumped their crazy bone on the back of a chair or on the corner of a wall or something. And you know what that feels like. Imagine getting hit with a baseball going 90 miles an hour. It takes a long time to get that feeling back.
1-2 to Stinnett. Fouled back out of play. A long time. You probably have some parts of your body where the feelings never come back after getting beaten up behind the plate.
I got some sore spots and some numb spots. Places where they've taken nerves out and rearranged tendons and just have to get all those bone chips lined up just right.
And that's why we have now every year the all bone chips team. Montreal leading by a run. We're in the bottom of the 7th. Lee at first, and it's 1-2 on Stinnett. 2-2. Fox would be next. Well, Travis has a stolen base already tonight, but that was with a right-hander on the mound. Just off the outside corner, tried to backdoor him there with a breaking ball. 3-2 to Stinnett. Well, you figured Lee will be running here. 1 out. Outfield now moving is Rondell White a few steps into left center field. A lot of room in that right center field gap. Lee goes, swung on and missed. Throw down to second is in the dirt and not in time. First try for young Barrett. 2 away as Stinnett strikes out. Travis's second stolen base of the game, his 5th of the year. And he represents a tying run now in scoring position.
That was very nearly a double play. Strike him out, throw him out. Stinnett with the swing and miss on the breaking ball. Travis had a terrible jump at first base, but the one-hop throw allows him to get in underneath the tag by Wilton Guerrero. Now, Travis was kind of caught flat-footed over there at first base and didn't really get much of a jump at all.
Well, one of the rituals of baseball is wait for a batter to be announced as a pinch hitter. So then the opposing manager can walk to the mound and make a pitching change. So Batista was announced as a pinch hitter for Andy Fox. And Felipe Alou is going to bring on the right-hander Telford. So we'll take a break. Diamondbacks have a tying run at second here in the 7th. We'll be right back. Fox Sports Net Arizona brings you live first and second round coverage of the GTE Byron Nelson Classic. John Cook looks to hold off the field and defend his title in the Lone Star State. Coverage begins Thursday, 1 o'clock on Fox Sports Net Arizona. Here it's a 3-2 game, last of the 7th. And Anthony Telford is now on to pitch to face Tony Batista.
We saw Telford in the ball game last night. He came on in the 7th in relief of Javier Vasquez. A walk to the leadoff hitter Jay Bell, an RBI double by Luis Gonzalez. See his numbers on the season.
Tony Batista, 222 hitter, a couple of home runs, 14 knocked in, and here it comes. Breaking ball low and away. Batista has feasted upon left-handed pitching this season, but has really struggled against the right-handers. And there you see the number.
And you know, usually when you see numbers that disparate, is that the word I'm looking for?
I have no idea.
Different. Usually it's because the right-handers throw a lot of breaking balls to the right-handed hitters. That hasn't really been the case throughout the year. Tony Batista's just been chasing a lot of high fastballs from right-handed pitchers.
You can't ask me about those fancy words. I don't know them.
I boxed myself.
I mean, I don't know them. I have no idea. That one into center field, a base hit, and the game is going to be tied. Lee scores, and Tony Batista delivers here in the 7th.
which is a slider that stays out over the plate and down, and Tony Batista goes right back up the middle of the field with it. Travis Lee, after stealing a base, rumbles around and scores easily.
So now David DeLucci will pitch it for Armando Reynoso. Travis Lee getting his second stolen base to pave the way to get knocked in by Batista. Solid outing by Armando Reynoso here tonight. DeLucci a check swing and a foul ball. Reynoso goes 7 innings. He allows only 5 hits. 3 runs, just 2 runs were earned. That last run on the throwing error by Kelly Stinnett led to the unearned run. Struck out 3, didn't walk anybody, although he did hit 2 batters. And now a balk has been called on Telford, and Batista will go into scoring position.
Movement of the hands there before starting the delivery to home plate. Once you come into that set position, when you move again, you have to deliver the ball. It looked like Telford came set, moved slightly, and then started his delivery to home plate.
Here's the 0-1, and a breaking ball is hit on the ground. Fulmer gets it to Telford in time, and that'll end the inning. So the Diamondbacks tie the game. We go to the 8th. 3-3 our score. Arizona Dodge dealers out of town scoreboard. National League West action. The Giants a 1-run lead over the Braves in the 6th. Mark Grace, Jose Hernandez, Sammy Sosa home runs for the Cubs. They lead the Dodgers in the 7th inning. Todd Helton a couple of home runs for Colorado. They've beaten the Mets each of the first 2 games of that series. And Florida with a 5-4 lead over San Diego. Other scores include Cincinnati over Milwaukee 9-1, Houston over Pittsburgh 19-8, and Philadelphia beat St. Louis 9-4. Tony Batista remains in the game to play shortstop, and now on the pitch is right-hander Darren Holmes.
See his numbers on the season. Holmes pitched a third of an inning in the ball game last night, coming on in relief of Randy Johnson. Got the only batter he faced to ground out to second base. And he's going to have to try to hold the Expos down right here, give his team an opportunity to come back and win this ball game.
Top of the order, Wilton Guerrero, Michael Barrett, and then Rondell White. Guerrero shows bunt. Breaking ball in there, called strike. Guerrero has been on twice. Singled in the first inning, reached on an error, was thrown out stealing in the 3rd, and then struck out in the 6th against Reynoso, who cannot win it, nor can he lose it. Swing and a miss. Okay, you take away one bad start by Reynoso, that game he pitched in Houston. And it's hard to find a Diamondback starting pitcher who has pitched better than Armando Reynoso. 7 innings, 5 hits, 1 run, and a no decision against the Dodgers. 7 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, and a win over the Giants. As Guerrero lifts a fly ball into shallow center, Batista going out, Finley coming in, Steve will get it. And then Milwaukee, 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 run, another outing here tonight. So outside of 1 game, he has not allowed more than 2 earned runs in any of his other 4 starts.
Just the pace at which Armando Reynoso pitches. We talked about how deliberate he is. It just seems like he's laboring a lot more than he is. You look up at the numbers, as you mentioned, at the end of the ball game, and he's pitched an outstanding ball game, but it's been a labor. And that's just the way he feels he is most effective. That's the most conducive way of throwing his stuff to opposing hitters and getting them out. Kind of put them to sleep a little bit, sneak an 83-mile-an-hour fastball by him. A lot of off-speed pitches. Control the running game with that pickoff move. Many pickoff moves. Hey, if it works, That's what you got to do.
1-1 to Michael Barrett, who is 1 of 3, single to right field his last time up. On the ground to Jay Bell. He's there. 2 are gone.
You know, the exact opposite is Omar Dahl. He works so quickly that most of the time the hitters aren't even in the box yet. He's already got his sign ready to throw the ball. If you ask Reynoso to work that quickly, or if you ask Dahl to work as slowly as Reynoso does, it probably wouldn't work. Everybody has their own rhythm of where they feel effective.
So now Rondell White. And the pitch on the way is high. Ball 1.
Now you're at the stage of a tie ball game where your first concern as a pitcher is keep the ball in the ballpark. The guys that can hit the long ball, stay away from their power, and if they're going to beat you, force them to hit it to the big part of the park.
1-1 to Rondell White.
From his power here, breaking balls on the outside part of the plate, hard slider on the outside part of the plate. See, White's looking for something he can jerk into those seats in left field, and Holmes shouldn't give it to him.
Did he go? They appeal, and yes, sir. A 1-2-3-8 for Darren Holmes. We go to the bottom of the 8th, tied at 3.
Diamondbacks and the Expos are tied at 3 as we travel to the bottom of the 8th inning. Barry Butel with you. All 3 Diamondbacks runs have been helped because of the stolen base. Tony Womack, Mr. Speed Demon on the base pass, not only stole second, but then tore up his 16th stolen base over to third base. And Travis Lee, a questionable caught stealing call, has already stolen 2 bases tonight to help the Diamondbacks manufacture runs, guys.
Well, it's nice to be able to do that when you know, the power in the lineup seems to be taking a night off. Yeah, options. It's all about options. You'd like to see your guys go up there and slug the ball out of the ballpark, but if not, you steal some bases. Diamondbacks ranked 4th in the National League, just behind the Giants, the Astros, and the Dodgers. Diamondbacks didn't have that option last year. If they didn't have somebody hit the ball out of the ballpark, they probably were not going to score runs.
And you saw the Giants right up there. I mean, you talk about a team that doesn't have a lot of speed up and down that batting order, but obviously Dusty having to do things a little bit differently right now without the big fella Barry Bonds in there.
And you know, you really have to look inside the numbers as well. A lot of times guys get stolen bases on broken hit and run plays where the batter swings through the ball, catcher makes a bad throw to second base, the runner's credited with the stolen base, when in reality it was a broken hit and run play. And I think the Giants get a lot of stolen bases exactly that way. Dusty loves to start the runners, give the hitters some holes in that infield to shoot for, and when the batter swings and misses, they go ahead and steal the base anyway.
All right, we have a new pitcher in the game. Guillermo Mota is taking over. James Mouton is in center field, and unbelievably Rondell White has been taken out of the game. Now, we don't know if perhaps White was injured when he was hit on the hand a little bit earlier on, but he did stay in the game, and it's hard to imagine that White is no longer in. 1-1 pitch. High and in. I mean, yeah, Felipe Alou playing the typical or standard double switch, but there's a reason why Rondell White is your number 3 hole hitter. 2-1 pitch. Pop fly right side of the infield. Fulmer is there, 1 away.
And the pitcher spot for the Expos isn't due up until 6th next inning. You figure by that point they're either going to have scored a run or they're going to be out of the inning, and the pitcher spot's not going to come up anyway. But an unusual time to double switch, and he's talking it over with Louis Pujols, his bench coach there. Very rarely do you take down one of the guys in your lineup with the thunder in his hands, a guy that can hit home runs late in a tie ball game.
I have a feeling that maybe Lou was very upset down there, realizing either he made a mistake or something went wrong somewhere in the chain of command. Because I have a feeling he would have preferred. We know White can play left field. He played there last night. Now, Lou very animated. You don't see him that animated generally during the course of a game. He is clearly mad or upset about something down there.
Well, the double switch is valuable if that pitcher spot is due up the first 3 hitters of the next inning. Obviously, you don't want that pitcher spot to come up, have to burn a pinch hitter off the bench. But when the pitcher spot's not due up until 6, chances are you would rather pick your pinch hitter at that point for the pitcher rather than make the double switch and be locked in with who the hitter's going to be.
1-2 to Jay Bell. 3-3 game, last of the 8th. Mota misses inside. Told you Mota, converted middle infielder. Boy, he has got a live arm out there on the mound. Two pitch. Bell jammed and pops it up. 2 away. All righty. Well, Luis Gonzalez, his first 3 times up tonight.
Harmless pop up to left right there. The 3rd inning, hits it with a little more authority to left field. Chases Merced all the way to the warning track. And then in the 6th, straightaway center field. Rondell White has a little bit of trouble, but he's able to run it down. Gonzalez needs one right here.
Hitting streak, as you know, at 23 games, 0 for 3 tonight. 23 is his career high. He did that to tie Art Howe's Houston Astros club record back in 1997. 4 times Gonzalez has continued this hitting streak in his final at bat. Two balls and no strikes. He got ahead in the count. You may remember his last at bat when he stunned that ball into deep left center field and Rondell White ran down on a 3-0 pitch. Two-0 to Gonzalez. And Mota, the big, tall, lanky right-hander, kicks and fires high and away.
Well, the fans here at Bank One Ballpark understand what's going on with Luis Gonzalez. They also understand that unless this game remains tied for some extra innings, Luis probably not going to get another AB in this game. They want to see him hit.
And he walks on 4 straight pitches. Well, Louis will be the first to tell you, and he'll openly talk about it, that sooner or later he knows it's going to end. He's been enjoying the ride, and he may get another shot tonight. Like you said, Bobby, we don't know, but if it is over, it has been fun to watch.
And it really puts into perspective Joe DiMaggio's 56-game hitting streak. Double what Luis Gonzalez has done and add 10 more games. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable is right. A few years ago, and I'm not exactly sure how they come up with numbers like this and how the people in Las Vegas come up with various odds on things, but there was a story written, I believe it was in Sports Illustrated a number of years ago, that of all of the records that stand in professional sports today, doesn't matter what the record is, what sport you're talking about. Pitch on the way to Williams, high and away. That Joe DiMaggio's 56-game hitting streak had the largest odds of a player ever breaking that streak than any other record in professional sports. I mean, more than a perfect game, more than Henry Aaron's home run record, more than the all-time points in basketball record, either for a game over 100 points, or for a season, or for a career, or in football touchdown passes in a year, rushing yardage, you name it.
Some of the records that stand right now, I feel will never be broken just because players don't have the longevity of career that they had in days past.
There's a bullet into center field. A base hit. They're going to challenge the arm. No. Luton getting there quickly. And Louis in scoring position. Matt Williams getting his first hit. Steve Finley is 0 for 3. See, all of a sudden Finley's numbers with runners in scoring position has come up dramatically because of the 3 hits in the last 5 at bats. He was well under 200 the entire year. Here's a pitch, and it's low ball 1. But give him credit, he's made the most of his last 2 hits. A 3-run home run and a grand slam yesterday. All you need here is a single. 3-3 game, last of the 8th. And a pitch. On the ground, a weak roller down the first. Goodness gracious. Go to the 9th inning. We're tied at 3. Coming up next on Fox Sports News Prime Time, Braves and the Giants in a wild one in San Francisco. All the playoff coverage in the NBA. And, of course, the Stanley Cup. It's all coming up right after the ball game. And we go to the 9th inning. 3 runs, 7 hits, no errors, 2 men left for the Expos. Diamondbacks 3 runs, 6 hits. They've committed 2 errors and stranded 5. Darren Holmes' his 2nd inning of work. And a breaking ball is in there, a strike to Orlando Merced. Vladimir Guerrero next. And then Brad Fulmer. Two now to Merced, who is 0 for 3. He just missed a Reynoso hanging breaking ball back into 6th inning. Hit it to the warning track in right field. Seattle beat Boston tonight 8-5. Cleveland over Baltimore 11-6. Oakland beat Detroit 6-2. Fastball missed outside. Minnesota 2-1 winners over Tampa Bay. Anaheim beat the Yankees 9-7. Texas down Chicago 11-5, and Toronto beats Kansas City 8-2. Still a ball and 2 strikes. Armando Reynoso, 7 strong innings, allowing 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 were earned. And now Holmes as it's high and away, 2-2 to Merced. If you're looking ahead of the Diamondbacks 9th, Travis Lee, Kelly Stinnett, and then Tony Batista. Pitcher spot would be due up 4th. Two. Into short left field. Gonzalez is there. 1 away. The Diamondbacks have played a great deal better in 1-run games than they did early in the year, but nonetheless they are under 500 at 4 up and 5 down. On the other side of the ledger, 1-run games have been certainly unkind to Felipe Alou's ball club. 4 wins and 9 losses. 1-0 to Guerrero. Guerrero 275 average. Takes high 2-0, and now you're starting to get into dangerous territory.
I still wouldn't give in to this hitter. Even behind in the count 2-0, he's liable to come out of his shoes swinging at this next pitch from Darren Holmes, regardless of where it is.
Durham a breaking ball. Three game, top of the ninth, and a 2-1 to Vladimir Guerrero, and it's swung on and fouled out of play. Guerrero, enormously talented, just turned 23. Hit .324 last year with 38 home runs and 109 runs batted in. 2-2 to Guerrero. On the ground and through the hole in the left field, a base hit. And Guerrero had thoughts of going to second base, running hard all the way up the line. So the go-ahead run aboard here in the ninth.
Hard ground ball just past a diving Matt Williams. Hit it off the end of the bat. Matty guarding the line, playing about a big step and a half off that third baseline, and Guerrero finds the hole between Matt Williams and Tony Batista.
Third hit of the game by Vladimir Guerrero. And now Fulmer, who is 0 for 3. He's bounced to short, hit into a double play back to the mound, and fly to center field. Guerrero has only attempted 1 stolen base the entire year. And he was thrown out. Stole 11 last season. Has stolen as many as 19 in the minor leagues in 1 year. Want to know to Fulmer.
You saw that shot a moment ago. The Diamondbacks defensively in the outfield, playing very deep. This is the no doubles defense. Play at a position where you think you can cut off any ball hit in the gap or hit down either foul line and hold that runner that's at first base right now from scoring.
One and 0 to Fulmer. Guerrero, a little bit bigger lead this time at first, and there he goes. And it's popped up in a shallow left center field. Batista getting out there in time, and that'll be the second out. He'll throw to first. Not a very wise play there by Tony. He had to come well off the bag to Travis Lee to get that throw, which was on its way down the right field line, and Batista was never going to double up Guerrero.
Well, in the event of a bad throw, Kelly Stinnett was standing in foul territory on the warning track over in front of the Expos dugout, ready to knock down any errant throw that happened to get by Travis Lee.
You like to see that.
Well, you know, that's another one of those little things in the game. It's just a little thing. Well, it becomes a big thing if Tony Batista throws that ball away and there's nobody to back up the play.
Mike Mordecai bats for the first time.
I mean, that's like running down and backing up first base as a catcher. With nobody on base, guy hits a ground ball. The catcher usually runs down in foul territory, backing up the throws at first base. The one time you don't do it, the ball will be thrown away. And then you'll be standing at home plate looking like a fool.
1-0 to Mordecai. Breaking ball miss. 2-0. To Mike Mordecai. 3-3 game, top of the ninth, 2 are out. Vladimir Guerrero was on the run. That final pitch, and there he's on the run again. Throw down a second, not nearly in time. And really not much of a chance there for Stinnett.
Big jump by Guerrero. The long strides covering a lot of ground in a short amount of time. Holmes with a very slow delivery to home plate. Just keep that ball in the infield. You concede that stolen base as a catcher. You just try to get that ball down there in the air in the event Guerrero slides over the bag or something. But when you see that jump and you see how long the ball is taking to get to you, you realize you're not going to throw him out.
All right, go ahead, run now in scoring position, and the 3-0 is ball 4 to Mordecai. Boy, if I'm Holmes, I'm going to challenge, I think, Mordecai a little bit more there. First time he's come to the plate tonight, and now you're facing a guy in Cabrera who swings a pretty darn good bat. He had 2 hits in a game last night, including a triple and an RBI single. He's 1 of 3 tonight and is batting over .290 for the year. Well, we shall see. Strike 1 to Cabrera. See the average for Cabrera now at .294 after the hit tonight. On the ground, and Bell is there, so Holmes will take care of that. Expos lead 2. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Lee, Sinet, Batista do up. 3-3 ball game as we head for the bottom of the 9th inning. Diamondbacks won it in dramatic fashion last night. We'll see tonight. Don't forget about our lineup tomorrow. The last word at 5:30. Fox Sports News tonight at 6. D-backs Expos at 7. Fox Sports News prime time will follow the ball game. And again, a reminder, if you're coming down to the ballpark and if your schedule tells you that it's a 7:05 game tomorrow night, please keep in mind it's been moved back 30 minutes to 7:35. Come on down. Guillermo Mota still on the mound. They'll be facing Travis Lee to begin the inning. Lee has been on base all 3 times tonight. He walked, stole a base, scored a run in the 2nd. Singled, was thrown out stealing in the 4th. It looked like he was safe. Then he walked, stole a base in the 7th, and scored for a 2nd time. So Mota set to go, and we begin the 9th. Ball 1 low and away.
And Mota played with fire the entire 8th inning, falling behind every Diamondbacks hitter, and he falls behind Travis Lee here in the bottom of the 9th.
Foul out of play. The Diamondbacks have won 6 games in their last at bat. They have lost 6 games in the opposition's final at bat. Jay Bell evened that up last night. One to Lee. Good pitch here by Mota on the outside corner.
Another one of those little things in the game of baseball. Barrett, the catcher, shook his head and had his pitcher Mota shake his head as if he were shaking off a sign. He's doing it again. And then calls for the pitch that he wants. Ooh, very close there. Just to try to plant a seed in that hitter's mind. You know, maybe he's guessing a certain pitch in a certain count. Suddenly the pitcher's out there shaking his head no. A little doubt in that hitter's mind as to what's coming.
Came with a fastball inside and it missed, so Lee has worked the count forward. Travis, good eye tonight. Let's see if he can get it going here in the 9th. Go to the wide and a 3-2 pitch. Hit down the left field line and slicing foul out of play. Boy, you'd like to see Travis jump all over a 3-2 fastball. He was mighty late on that cut.
Well, there's just certain situations as a hitter. You have to tell yourself mentally, I have to turn it up a notch right here. My team wants me to drive the ball, hit something in the gap, an extra base hit, maybe even a home run. I mean, you know, granted, the common baseball knowledge with 2 strikes, you're just trying to protect the plate, take a little bit more of a defensive swing. Well, that's all right for some guys in the lineup. But Travis Lee's a guy you expect to drive the ball. even on a 3-2 count against a rookie pitcher, get a ball and drive it.
3-2 again. Ball 4, and Lee takes a walk to begin the inning. Third time Lee has walked in the game tonight. Well, you have to believe Travis has attempted 3 stolen bases in the ball game already tonight. And why not make it a 4th? I mean, it certainly looked as though he was safe on the call at second base in the 4th inning. So he's 2 out of 3. And overall, 5 of 7 on the year.
Now Barrett in his second inning of work behind the plate tonight. Started the game at third base, played at third base last night as well. His first throw to second base in the ball game tonight, short hopped in there. See what the D-backs do.
Stinnett will bat. And they ask him to bunt, something he is rarely, if ever, asked to do. And he looks at a strike on the outside corner. And again, Buck maybe more than likely not wanting to use. You see the last sacrifice for Stinnett in September of last season. Maybe he doesn't want to use it. His second catcher right now. And Stinnett has not even tried to bunt 2 fastballs that are strikes. 0-2. To Kelly Stinnett. Travis Lee at first representing the winning run. A ball and 2 strikes.
Now you can see Barrett sitting up higher behind the plate there on that 0-2 pitch. He wanted that fastball up above the letters. Wade Murphy, the first base coach, I'm sure reminded Travis Lee before that 0-2 pitch, heads up for a ball in the dirt. Many times when a pitcher gets ahead 0-2, they'll try to bounce a breaking ball in the dirt. Try to get that hitter to chase. That looks like where they're going right now. And just remind that base runner at first base, you see that trajectory of the ball headed for the dirt. Get a good jump and take off.
Lee not running, and it's foul out of play by Stinnett. Diamondbacks have stolen 4 bases in the game tonight. 2 by Womack, 2 by Lee. Travis, the only would-be base stealer to get thrown out. And now the 1-2 pitch to Kelly Stinnett. On the ground, weakly hit. Lee could hurry, and he'll get to second as the throw goes to first. So just as good as a sacrifice in essence. The winning run is now at second base with 1 out.
Not exactly the way you draw it up, but Kelly Stinnett able to get the job done. Got a fisted ground ball to the left side. Too slow for the Expos to turn a double play. The only play for Cabrera to go across the infield.
Well, the last time Tony Batista came to the plate and had Travis Lee at second base, it was in the 7th inning. And Batista tied the game with a single into center field. Three runs, 8 hits for Montreal, 3 runs, 6 hits for the Diamondbacks. In Arizona, the winning run is Lee at second base. Only 1 out. High fly ball, straight away center field. Room out there for Mouton. Tagging and coming on to third is Lee. 2 away, and Greg Colburn will be sent up to bat for the pitcher, Darren Holmes. Colburn, a grand total this season of 19 at-bats. He has 6 hits with a home run, 3 batted in, 2 of 6 off the bench with an RBI.
Wild pitch, pass ball, always a possibility. You've got a pitcher on the mound that's been erratic, a catcher that's only been behind the plate for 2 innings in this ball game, and relatively new to the position.
Pitch on the way. On the ground, charging is Cabrera, and we are headed for extra innings. End of 9, a 3-3 game. Bill. When your life goes into extra innings, find the energy. Feel your Ginsana. Three runs, 8 hits, no errors. 4 men left on base for Montreal. Diamondbacks 3 runs, only 6 hits, 2 errors. They've left 6 on base, including 4 in the last 3 innings. And now on the pitch out of the bullpen, it'll be right-hander Greg Olson.
Greg Olson pitched a perfect inning in the ball game last night, picked up a victory for his efforts. First win since last September 25th here at Bank One Ballpark against the San Diego Padres. Look at his numbers on the season. He's 4 for 8 in save opportunities. Had 4 straight saves from April 21st to May 1st. And ran into problems in Milwaukee, giving up the 3-run homer to Marquise Grissom. You get a look at his numbers in detail this season. And obviously coming into a tie ball game here. Not a save situation, but wouldn't mind vulturing another victory here.
James Mouton to lead things off. He'll be followed by Wilton Guerrero. And then Michael Barrett. Mouton batting for the first time. And it's outside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Busy man in that batter's box. He's got that left hand fluttering on the bat. Starts with an open stance. Closes it up as the ball's delivered. A lot of things to get done in a short amount of time to get into a position to hit that baseball.
One ball and 1 strike to Mouton. A .435 hitter on the season. And he chops it foul. Mouton had 2 hits. A single, a triple, knocked in a run, stole a base, and scored twice, drawing a walk in the opener last night. One and 2 to Mouton. And Olson turns it loose. Hit hard into right, but Womack is there for the first out of the inning. In extra inning games this season, Montreal is 0-3. The Diamondbacks are 2-3. Wilton Guerrero batting for the 5th time in the game tonight. Singled in the first, reached on an error in the third, was thrown out stealing. He's behind a strike. Struck out in the 6th and then popped up to Finley in shallow center in the 8th. The Diamondbacks certainly well aware of what else is going on as far as the 2 teams they are directly chasing in the West are concerned. Granted, it's very early in the year to be scoreboard watching, but don't let anybody tell you they're not doing it. That's a bunch of baloney. 0-1. Good play by Olson. They'll throw out Guerrero, 2 away.
Well, Tom, you mentioned the 6th extra inning game for the Diamondbacks this year. Last year they didn't play their 6th extra inning game until August 20th against the Phillies. The gentleman you mentioned earlier, Ugath Urbina, beginning to stir around down there in the Expos bullpen. Good looking closer.
With Urbina just now getting loose, it certainly leads you to believe that Guillermo Mota is going to pitch the next inning. Mota is on base, or on deck, pardon me, and has a jacket on. He's thrown pretty darn well. On the ground at Barrett, and Olsen a 1-2-3 10th. So we go to the bottom of the 10th. Top of the order coming up. Tied at 3. The home half of this extra inning is brought to you by Homewood Suites Hotel. Bottom of the 10th. A lot of the fans still here. And at Chino Valley, Arizona, 11 the Diamondbacks. Put it up there again, young man. Get some TV time. What the heck?
Took all the time to make that sign and bring it here to Bank One Ballpark with you. The least we could do is get your mug on the tube.
That's right. All right, Tony Womack, Jay Bell, and how about it? Luis Gonzalez is going to get one more chance to extend that hitting streak. How about Womack gets on, Bell gets on, and Gonzalez smokes one to win the game, and hitting streak goes to 24.
Send the fans home happy. Send the broadcasters home happy. There you see Gonzalez. In baseball terms, he's in the hole right now. Jay Bell is the on-deck hitter. Gonzalez will be the third hitter of the inning. According to Major League Baseball rules, only one guy in the on-deck circle at a time, so Gonzalez with his helmet on, waiting down the dugout.
And a most interested spectator there as we begin the 10th inning. Tony Womack looks at ball one. Guillermo Mota on the mound. He's gone 2 innings, allowed 1 hit, walked 2. But he's thrown the ball very well. Womack has been on base once. And it's a ball, a strike. That was back in the 3rd when he singled, stole 2nd, stole 3rd, scored on a ground out by Bell to tie the game then at 2. Montreal scored in the top of the 7th. Diamondbacks tied it in the bottom of the 7th at 3. Barrett wants to make sure that he knows exactly what Mota's going to throw. You know, I saw her, Bobby. Remember the other day when we were playing the New York Mets, and Piazza was having all kinds of problems catching balls from Oral Hershiser. Well, I saw today that Hershiser is now getting fitted for stronger contact lenses. Apparently could not distinguish the number of fingers Piazza's dropping down there giving a sign.
Oral said there were times he couldn't even see the catcher, period. That's not good.
Neither is that right there. A pop fly off the bat of Womack. One away.
Jay Bell was the hero last night in the 9th inning against Bobby Ayala. Finds the first row of the bleachers out there in straightaway left field. Nice catch by a fan out there. Wouldn't it be something?
She wants to say he did it again. He did it again. Ball 1 down low. Jay Bell, the major league leader in home runs with 12. A hitless game tonight. 0 for 4, knocked in a run with a ground out in the 3rd inning. And Mota turns it loose. And it's popped up. And out of play behind the plate. Fans scrambling around down there for that souvenir. One and one to Bell with Gonzalez on deck. Low and away, 2 balls and a strike. 3-1. Good hitter's count right here for Bell. Mota, a young pitcher, you figure he's coming with the heat. Here comes a pitch. He came with it, and Bell was tardy and pops it up down the right field line. And Wilton Guerrero in fair ground makes a play. 2 away. Well, Luis Gonzalez gets one more chance. He is fly to left, line to left, and line to center. He drew a walk in the 8th inning. One more chance to extend that hitting streak to 24. Gonzalez settles in, and Barrett now getting in a crouch. Here's a pitch. Ball 1 low and away. Mota walked Gonzalez on 4 straight pitches in that 8th inning. So now he's thrown him 5 in a row out of the strike zone. 1-0 delivery. High fly ball, right center field. Could the streak end the game? Yes! Goodbye! Oh, baby! If you wrote it in Hollywood, they'd never buy it. Gonzalez in the 10th inning, getting another chance to extend the hitting streak, clubs a game-winning home run. Unbelievable. Oh, man. And it couldn't happen to a better guy in the world.
I'm telling you, we talked about it before. If there's one guy on this ball club you want to root for, it's Luis Gonzalez. He comes up in a huge way here in extra innings, continues the hitting streak with a game-winning homer.
Oh, man. Atta baby, Louie. So our Chevrolet player of the game, Gonzalez, a game-winning home run, and a hitting streak goes to 24. Boy, oh boy, that is something. And who else is going to be your Nissan player of the game? You got it, Louie. Woo! How about this series? Not too shabby. Tomorrow night, the 3rd and final game. Todd Stottlemyre on the mound for the D-backs. Barry and Rod get it started at 7 o'clock. For Bob Brenly, Greg Schulte, and Barry Butel, I'm Thom Brennaman for our entire crew saying thanks so much for being with us. A thriller, a Gonzalez home run wins it in the 10th. D-backs 4-3. See you tomorrow night.